A very warm good morning and welcome to the Health Discourse Show, your trusted space for honest, informed and empowering conversations around health and general well-being. I'm Asasha Elizabeth, and today, at a time when so many people are grappling with side effects of different types of family planning methods available, we find that it is really timely to shine a spotlight on a topic that directly touches on families, relationships, and responsible parenthood. This is natural family planning. What is it really, and who is it for? How effective is it? And what are the myths that surround this natural family planning that need to be cleared once and for all? To help us unpack this, I am joined by two counselors come nurses from Mater Misericordia Hospital. And before we delve deep into more, I would like to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. Just tell us what exactly do they do at Mater. Good morning.
Morning to you.
Thank you very much for creating time for this conversation. And kindly just introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay, good morning, our viewers. My name is Ruth Chepkonga. I'm from Family Life Department, and we teach natural family planning. I'm still a midwife, a nurse, and also a family life counselor. Welcome today.
Thank you for coming, Ruth.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Agnes Joroge. I'm a natural family planning counselor and a nurse. So in Mater Hospital, I teach natural family planning.
Thank you, Agnes, also for joining the conversation. We are happy to have you today in our studios. And of course, they will guide us through the facts, the science, and of course, the lived realities, being that they are on ground and they have contact with people, of course, doing this training and counseling. This is the Health Discourse Show, where conversations heal and knowledge empowers. If you have any questions, any contributions, you can weigh in on the conversation on our numbers that are on your screens, as well as on our social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook. Let me welcome you again. And first, just to set the foundation, let's get to understand what exactly is natural family planning and what are some of the most common misconceptions that are surrounded. Let's start by understanding what is natural family planning, because we understand that even the Catholic Church and even the faith-based hospitals or health facilities like Mater Hospital really drum up for NFP.
Oh, okay. We really support your question because there's a huge knowledge gap about natural family planning. Most people do not understand what it is. So natural family planning is a way of life by which married couples are instructed on how to plan their families by following the guidelines on how to study fertility signs that are naturally given. So it is not by not using any other, we don't introduce anything to your body. We just help you to identify fertility signs that are naturally given. Yes. Okay. And my colleague can add. Yes.
What else are we missing about NFP, Agnes?
Okay. The other thing about natural family planning, as we have said, there are many misconceptions about the natural family planning. And one of them, some of the people think that natural family planning is counting days, is calendar method, save days, ovulation app, or the period tracker. But the natural family planning, what we teach, there is no counting at all, because all those, they usually count, and they assume that fertility is around the 14th day, which is not always the case, even for a woman with a regular cycle. And we also have some women who have short cycles who get their fertility around day 6 or day 7, because they get their periods after less than 21 days. So for what we teach, it's not counting at all, because if one counts, they may be thinking that at one time they are fertile while they are not fertile. Then the other thing is that it is not withdrawal. Because in case of that, if a woman is fertile, there is usually her fertile mucus, and from the man, there is the pre-ejaculatory fluid that contains sperms. So these sperms can be transported by the woman's fertile mucus, taken to the fallopian tubes, and in case an egg is released, then one can conceive. Then it is also not the herbal pills. The herbal pills are not natural at all. They are artificial hormonal family planning methods containing a lot of hormones, and one might even get major side effects while using them. So it is also not the herbal pills. So basically is the woman knowing about her body and following the instructions given. In case they want to avoid pregnancy, they'll be given the rules that they need to follow during the time that they are checking, and it's done every day.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you. That's quite in-depth. I think you've touched on most of the common misconceptions surrounding NFP. And I think one of the questions that people always ask is the success rate of NFP. And there tends to be a lot of contradictory conversations around that. Ruth, what would you say about that?
So the success rate, basically, there's no method of family planning that is 100%, but our natural family planning is above 97%. So when used correctly and follow the guidelines and by being taught by the right teacher, you qualified, you'll find yourself success rate is above 97%. Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Many people hear about natural family planning but do not fully understand the science behind it. I think you've mentioned a little bit about menstrual cycle. Could you briefly explain how this is central to NFP?
So the menstrual cycle, it's not only the time that a woman has her periods. So the menstrual cycle is from the start of the bleeding or the first day of the periods until the day before the next periods. So it has several phases from the beginning to the end. So it does not only cover the periods. So the first part of the menstrual cycle is the periods. And the periods, this is the bleeding, the normal bleeding that a woman has in every cycle. And the duration can be between 3 to 8 days, averagely 5 days. And it might change from woman to woman, from cycle to cycle. So that change, it is still okay, because at one time you might get your periods are 3 days, the next time it's 4 days, it can be 5 days. So that variation is normal. So after the periods, that is the end of the bleeding, we have a phase that is called the pre-ovulatory infertile phase. So the pre-ovulatory means that this is before ovulation and it is an infertile phase. And during this time, the woman will get either the infertile mucus or dryness. So it's not every time that a woman will get the mucus during her cycle. At times there can be dryness during these infertile phases. So the pre-ovulatory infertile phase should get either the dryness or the infertile mucus. And the duration of this phase, it can be several days to several weeks. We have some women who might have a long cycle, and for them, they get their periods after 35 to 45 days. So for these women, this pre-ovulatory infertile phase, it can be quite long. It can be 2 weeks and above. And also for women after delivery, you would find that their pre-ovulatory infertile phase can be quite long for some, though others, their fertility can come as early as 4 weeks after delivery. But for those whom it takes longer, because it can even take an year, several months, an year, or even an year and above. So for them, this pre-ovulatory infertile phase will be quite long, whereby she would be getting a basic infertile pattern of either dryness continuously or even the infertile mucus. Then after this pre-ovulatory infertile phase, now we get the fertile phase. The fertile phase will begin from the first day of fertile mucus, and it will end on the 4th day evening after the peak. This peak is the last day of fertile mucus. So now it will depend, the duration of this fertile phase will depend on how many days of fertile mucus one has had. In case she has had 2 days of the fertile mucus, then the total fertile phase will be 6 days. Because she will have the 2 days of fertile mucus, the last day being the peak, then now this fertile phase will end on the 4th day evening after the peak. So these 4 days that follow, the woman will either get the infertile mucus or dryness, but she will still be fertile. And this is because the egg is usually released around the peak. It can also be released 24 hours after the peak or 48 hours after the peak. So these 4 days, when one waits until the end of until the 4th day evening after the peak, they'll be sure that at that time the egg has already died. Because the egg usually dies within a maximum of 24 hours, but at times it can even be earlier, in 14 to 16 hours. And there are times that one can ovulate from both sides in the same cycle. That is, she can ovulate from maybe the right side, then after the egg has died after 24 hours, there can be some cases whereby she can ovulate again. So for us giving these 4 days after the peak, we will be sure that even if the woman ovulated twice in that month, we'll be sure by the 4th day evening she's no longer fertile. So that is the 3rd phase of the menstrual cycle. And the duration can vary from woman to woman and also cycle to cycle. Then the last phase is the post-ovulatory infertile phase. The post-ovulatory infertile phase, this one means that it is after ovulation, post-ovulatory, and it is also infertile. And the observation the woman will get, just like the pre-ovulatory, that's before ovulation, she will either get dryness or the infertile mucus. So this phase will last from the 4th day evening after the peak until the day before the next period. So that is the end of the post-ovulatory infertile phase. So now when the periods begin, it will be the beginning of a new cycle. So for all those phases, they can vary from cycle to cycle, woman to woman. So that's why we insist that with what we teach, there is no counting at all. It's observation of the cervical mucus, which can be fertile or infertile. And some of the characteristics of the fertile and the infertile mucus, the fertile one, it's usually different. The color and texture is different.
Maybe before we get into details, Agnes, I would just like for Ruth to shed light on, we have people with regular cycles, and we have others with irregular cycles. And this is part of the questions that always arise. Who are suitable candidates for NFP? Because some people believe, okay, it's just for women who should be there, maybe people with regular cycles, or it's for the religious, the Catholics, most especially because of the Catholic Church stance on NFP.
Okay, so thank you. That is a good question. So for the natural family planning, we have women who have short cycles, the way we have mentioned, and short cycle are women who are less than 21 days. And then we have a normal cycle, which is above 21 to 35 days. Then we have women who have an average cycle, which is around 28 days. And then we have women who have 35 to 40 days, to 45 days. Those are women with long cycle. So to us, so long as you fit in that category, you are fit to go. So there are women there's only one ovulation in a cycle. So if you are even less than, for example, the short cycle ones, you'll find them, they will have only periods twice, maybe the first week of the month and the last week of the month, but ovulation is only once. So it can be used by all the women who are breastfeeding, post-delivery women who are breastfeeding, women who are premenopausal, women even who have decided to come out of the pill or other methods of contraception. They are used by all women who are in childbearing age to prevent pregnancy, to postpone pregnancy. For those who want to achieve pregnancy and they have subfertile issues, they can also use. And also those women who want to achieve pregnancy, but they've not gotten the part for the fertility part. So every woman is free to use. It is really, they can fit in the system. So they should not say that, we've had that many times, but when they come to class, they see kumbe they can even fit in. So because it is based on that menstrual cycle, it is not a counting calendar, save days, and we go through to teach them about your own body. We don't teach as a group, but you as an individual, we go through, we check your cycle, we go through. That's why it is not even a counting method. We teach you to identify fertility signs that are naturally given. So to us, every woman can fit in the class. Yes.
Does it, is it recommended for even people from other religious beliefs?
Thank you. Now, from other religious beliefs, let me tell you for free, we have everybody on board. We have Muslim in our class, we have Protestants, we have Catholics, we have all women. Let me put it better. We have all women. And we are proud for the Catholic Church that they spearheaded it. And all the women are supposed to be inside. And that is what we teach even in Mater Hospital. It is all the women, all the classes, everyone is inside. So it fits everyone and it suits everyone. It's not for only Catholics, it is for everybody.
Do the male counterparts have a contribution in this training?
Yes, they have contribution. They even escort their spouses to class because there's a role they also need to play to support the woman in this, helping them to identify, to follow the guidelines and the rules, to help even the woman to support her, to motivate her. And finally, when we have that diligence for being disciplined, following the rules and even doing it correctly, that method, the success rate now is even achievable. So male counterpart is part of the team. They are not like it's only a woman. No, it is both. It is a couple. Yes.
Thank you. Back to you, Agnes. I know we'll get back to the details, the nitty-gritties, but let's now try to understand, beyond the pregnancy planning, are there any other uses or benefits of natural family planning to individuals and couples?
Okay, so for the couples, there are several benefits of the natural family planning. And the first one is that there are no side effects because the woman just checks her body, she records the observation, and then they are able to follow the rules. And in fact, she can be able to know in case there is anything wrong, should be able to know very fast. So there are no side effects. Then the other thing is that it is affordable. And the couple is able to know about their bodies, because we do not only teach about the woman's body, even the man's body, because as my colleague has mentioned, is that even the man accompanies the woman, so both of them are able to know much more about their bodies, and it can be used by anybody. It is usable by all the women, whether one is breastfeeding, whether one is in the premenopausal period, whether one has a child or not. So it is used, it can be used by any woman at any age. And also for this natural family planning, as one uses it, they are able to either achieve pregnancy, because it can be used in achieving pregnancy. There are some people who might be unable to conceive, but they have no medical problem. So they can be taught how the fertile mucus looks like and advised to have relations at that time, and eventually they can be able to conceive. So the fertile couple can use it. It can also be used by couples who want pre-sex selection. This is for those who want to conceive a baby girl or a baby boy. When they come for the sessions, for the classes, they'll be able to be guided through. And then also the other one of avoiding or postponing pregnancy. So the natural family planning is very beneficial to both the man and the woman and the family as a whole.
Yes. Thank you. That's quite great, because I also was waiting for that part of selection of gender, because sometimes people get frustrated when they're expecting maybe to get a girl because they have heard boys, or they expect to have a boy, and then they get so frustrated. So with the NFP, it's quite possible to choose.
Yes, it's possible.
Oh, great. Now, Ruth, could you please walk us through the process? What is it like practicing natural family planning in real everyday's life?
So the way I had mentioned about when I was defining natural family planning, actually it is a way of life where you continue. For example, you do the remember the menstrual cycle is like a month. So the first day of menstruation before the next menstruation comes, it's what make a cycle. They are the phases of the menstrual cycle. Now the periods, which is the beginning, the pre-ovulatory and fertile phase, the fertile phase, and then post-ovulatory phase. Then we arrive at the periods again. The cycle again starts. So it is a way of life, because you have to record each and every day. You have to do the observations each and every day. Despite you are a working mother or not, you do the observations during the day, and in the evening you record them. And then you do the last recording before even going to bed. And at the end you are able personally. That is why we work with the couples or the woman to identify them. So you will be able to see today I'm fertile. You will be able to see today I'm not fertile, depending on what you are, the uses of the natural family planning. If you are postponing if you are postponing and today it has recorded that you are fertile, you are not supposed to do sexual relations on the fertile day. If it is now that you are achieving pregnancy and you are in the fertile corner, it is time for you to do sexual relations for us to achieve that pregnancy. So it is a way of life. It is something that you cannot do without it. You just continue doing it, and it becomes easy. Some people feel sometimes it is like a burden. It is not. It is just something you go through the process, and that is why it is a way of life. It is a lifestyle. You go through each and every day, and finally you are good to go. Yes.
Because there are people who, there's also another I think a misconception that natural family planning is quite complicated and very hard to learn. Agnes, what would you say about that?
So the natural family planning, it's not complicated to learn, because it's just learning about your body. In fact, because for the sessions, we usually have a minimum of 6 sessions. From the first to the second session, we have a duration of 2 to 3 weeks. Then the others, an interval of 4 weeks. So as the couple comes, by the second session, because they will have done the observations and they'll be taught on the differences between the fertile and the infertile mucus and the rules to follow, they are able to see that this is the menstrual cycle. From the woman's record, she's able to see that this is true. The menstrual cycle I was taught about, it is true. It's what is happening in my body. Because she will have observed the fertile mucus, the infertile mucus. So as long as one has observed, she will be able to see that it's part of her, it's part of her body, and it's just checking daily. As you go about your daily activities, you just observe and check. The recording is in the evening before bedtime. So as long as one has started, it becomes a routine and they are able to follow it well and it works out for them.
Thank you. And Ruth, in your experience as an NFP trainer, do you get some clients who feel like it's very difficult for me to grasp all these concepts?
Yes. I remember I got a couple. So the man was willing the lady to do natural family planning, but the lady did not want. Allow me to use an example. But we did the first class. The lady was even crying. The second class. So I reminded her, there's no way it's like you will go back. Can we be serious and do the work? So she went now and did the assignment very well. She told me by the time we reached the 5th class, remember our classes is only once a month, once day in a month. So it's something that you can really sacrifice and be committed to do it. She became the best student. She was even able to see, wow, my body, the side effects and everything else. It's this easy, and she was able to see, because it becomes a lifestyle. What is hard, because you do, when you are going to pee, for example, you've done the observation. When you are going to, it's not something that is like a burden. It, in a comfort zone that you are, you'll be able to check. And at the end, it is summarized in the evening. So she was able to see, and she was able to identify, and she was able even to win and even send other clients, and she was able to see. So it's not like maths that we do, it's not like sciences that we do, it's not like engineering work and many other complex
there are no computations and calculations.
But at the end you are able to do it. So it needs that diligence, discipline, commitment, and you find yourself, when you commit and you will, the willpower here, and you are able to follow, it's something that you'll find. The way you can take food every day, it's the same thing. So when you will and do it and be serious about it, you find it easy. And so most women, the way, I love this generation that is coming up, they want to be green, and they really want to follow those instructions. They are normally saying, what is it even hard here? So they are able to follow excellently and do it well. So please, women, welcome. We do it correctly, and you find yourselves doing it the right way. That's why there's that support that we work with them. But if you come with an open arms, you find yourself going through very easy. Yes.
Thank you. Agnes, are there some basic requirements for someone or a couple to successfully use natural family planning?
So thank you for the question. The requirements for natural family planning, first is that the couple needs to be taught by a trained natural family planning teacher. Then when they are taught, the other requirement is the observations, as have been mentioned. They need to be observing daily and recording. Then the other thing is that they need to be open that there are some days in the cycle during the fertile phase that they will have to abstain. So if they are open to that, they are observing daily, they are keeping the correct observations, then those are the requirements, and attending the sessions as required. In case of any queries, in case of any clarifications, they are also free to call the natural family planning counselor even before the next session for clarity. Yes.
And how is the recording done, Ruth? Because you mentioned that they have to observe and record on each day, like before you end your days, you have to do like recording. What do you use?
So there's normally there's a format where there's a format where they do their observations. For example, the format starts from the date. So for example, this is today is 24th. So it starts from it showed the whole period. Now from the first day to the end of the month, it will show you. So you normally write the date. Secondly, you now check the color. what you have observed that day, because we are identifying the fertility signs that are naturally given. You check also the color, which color is this. Secondly, you check the amount is another column. You also check the characteristics and the consistency. You will be able to check the way my colleague had mentioned. You can have dryness, or you can have infertile type of mucus. There is a way that we have helped them to see which one is fertile, which one is now infertile. Now, for example, if it is periods, they will be able to record maybe first day, second day, fourth day, depending on the days of the periods. They will be able to record. Now, if it is infertile period, again, pre-ovulatory infertile phase, they will be able to record. If it is that dryness, there is nothing at all. There is infertile type of mucus. It is even milky, depending on the consistency the woman has observed. In the last column, the woman will be able to conclude and say, I'm infertile today or I'm fertile today. So after identifying what you have, you are able now to put it in the record. You are able to put it in that a book or a record book or even a chart for those who wish to use the chart. So at the end of the day, now you are able to conclude. So that what is in that record book is the menstrual cycle, where it will show you periods, it will show you the fertile, pre-ovulatory, post-ovulatory, and you will be able now to work on what was the uses. If I was postponing during fertile, I'm not doing sexual relations, but these others I will do sexual relations on alternate days depending on the observations. So it is something that is very clear. It tells you what is it today. That's why it is a lifestyle, it's a daily thing. Yes.
So do they have to share with you the records after how long, and are you the ones who advise them now based on this record? This is your fertile.
Now, when they come the first day, we give them the assignment to go and identify those fertility signs that we have mentioned. They will be able to record them in their own words, in their own, how their body, the way they have come, the way those observations in their colors, in their consistency. Now, when they come to us after that first assignment, we are able to share to them, normally these ones are fertile type. The fertile is normally stretchy, colorless, slippery, wet, liquid, oily, lubricative. This is what fertile means, and this is what you get when you are fertile. If it is now the infertile ones, we are able to tell you it is cloudy, it is opaque, it is cutting, breaking, it is even thick. You are able to identify. It is white, naming them according to what she has observed. So when we have now shown them what fertile consists, what infertile consists, the type of mucus, the woman now is able now to record and know which status am I. And even she will be able now to record even in her own wordings. This is what the teacher said, this is what I have. She will be able to do it. So we guide them on how to do it and record correctly. So that's why even the homework we normally give them is to observe correctly, record correctly, and also correct sexual behavior, meaning that you need to abstain when need be, and when it is not need be, you also need to do the sexual relations when it is applicable. So we help them. Yes, we work with them. Yes, and that's why my colleague had mentioned, when somebody feels that I need clarity about anything, they even call the teacher and say, this is what I've observed, this is where I'm getting a challenge, you assist them. Yes.
Thank you very much, Agnes. Yes. There are approaches under the natural family planning. Could you please share with us the methods, the different methods and how they work?
Okay, thank you. So we have 4 different methods of natural family planning. The first method is called the Billings ovulation method. And this Billings ovulation method, it is the main natural family planning method, and it can even be used alone without the others. And it has to be there, even while the others are being used, it has to be there. So this Billings ovulation method is a technique whereby the woman checks the fertile and infertile phases in her menstrual cycle by the cervical mucus changes. As mentioned, my colleague has differentiated between the fertile and the infertile mucus. So when one is being taught the beadings ovulation method, there is checking those changes in the cervical mucus and following the instructions given, depending on the use you have for the natural family planning, whether it's postponing pregnancy, whether it's achieving pregnancy, or the pre-sex selection. So this beadings ovulation method is checking that cervical mucus and following the instructions given. Then the second method of natural family planning is called the lactational amenorrhea method. So this lactational amenorrhea method, it uses the infertility caused by exclusively breastfeeding in the first 6 months after childbirth. And in this method, we tell the women who have babies at 6 months and they are exclusively breastfeeding, we remind the women that breastfeeding is not a family planning method, and tell them that even when one is breastfeeding, fertility can still come, and fertility can come as early as 4 weeks after delivery. The fertility comes before the periods, and during this fertile time after the fertility, in case one does not conceive, then she will get her periods. So the natural method, while it is being used by those who have babies who are under 6 months, for those whose fertility take long to come, they will have the same thing, unchanging mucus or dryness day after day, and this is what we call the basic infertile pattern. So in short, this method just guides the woman whose fertility is not yet back after childbirth. She guides her on how she will identify the change in this basic infertile pattern, the unchanging mucus or the dryness. And we tell them that in case of any change is an indication of possible fertility. So if it changes, then they will need to abstain during that fertile period and then wait until the infertile period, after which they will get their menstrual period or the bleeding. So that is the lactational amenorrhea method. So still, the woman will be checking her mucus, should be checking the cervical mucus or that normal discharge, and identifying whether it is the fertile one or the infertile one. The other natural family planning method, the third one, is called the basal body temperature method. So this basal body temperature method, still it can't be used alone. One will still be checking her cervical mucus, should still be using the beadings ovulation method. But now on top of that, she will be checking her temperature every day, and this temperature should be taken around the same time daily. And after the temperature is taken, she will have to record the temperature. In case she takes it early, it's okay. She can take it 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after and record what it reads. And the temperature should be taken after a continuous 3 hours of rest. So the basal body temperature method cannot be used by one who has a small baby. For most of the people, we teach them when their babies are almost 2 years old, because by then she will be assured of the minimum 3 hours continuous rest, because she has to take the temperature daily. And as she takes the temperature, she will choose the route of taking the temperature. It can be orally, vaginally, or rectally, should choose, and the route should be the same route throughout the cycle, should be the one to choose the route. Then through this method, the woman will be able to know when the fertile phase ends, but she won't be able to know when it begins. So through the combination of the beadings ovulation method, she will already know, according to the mucus that she has observed, she will already know at the beginning of the fertile phase. So this method will help her to know the end of the fertile phase, and still the beadings ovulation method will also guide her still in knowing the end of the fertile phase. And temperatures can change. At times one might be unwell, so she will still do the temperature check, but she will have to note that maybe she had a fever, she was unwell, so that in case of any changes that does not does not guide which phase she is in, she will be able to know that that temperature was high because of the fever. And also in case maybe she takes the temperature much earlier, maybe an hour earlier, an hour later, she will also make a note that it was done much earlier or later. And even if that happens, since she's not using the basal body temperature alone, she will be able to still continue because she's still using the beadings ovulation method, checking the cervical mucus changes. Then the fourth and last natural family planning method is called the symptothermal method. So the symptothermal method is a combination of the checking the cervical mucus changes, the basal body temperature changes, and the characteristics of the cervix, because the cervix usually has different characteristics when one is fertile and when one is infertile. So the symptothermal method is a combination of all those. But as mentioned, is that the beadings ovulation method is the main natural family planning method of checking the changes in the cervical mucus and following the instructions. So one has to be following it even if she has the other methods, and she can still use the beadings ovulation method alone.
So from these four, is there any that is more effective than the other, or a combination that you found to be more effective than others?
So the beading ovulation method is more superior because it can be used like a standalone without combining anything. So it's normally the superior method. And then for the temperature method, you have to combine both because it will only show you that ovulation is over. Then for the lactational amenorrhea method, we are saying induced breastfeeding, but we discover that they need like around 16 hours in a day, and our mothers are working. They cannot, babies, they can sleep 8 hours at night, 8 hours during the day. So it find like it is a bit difficult. So unless again you combine with it. So ovulation method is the superior among the all. But when you combine both again, you find it is also easier. Yes.
Or does the effectiveness also vary from a woman to another based on their cycles?
Yes, hormonal balances in the body. Yes.
Okay. Initially, you mentioned that the effectiveness, you gave us a percentage. What really determines the success rate of NFP?
So for the success rate of natural family planning to be successful, it requires a qualified teacher to teach you. It requires a couple to follow diligently the rules, the guidelines and the rules that they have been given. They require them to be willing. To remember, we said it is a lifestyle.
Yes.
So that lifestyle, they need to be diligent to follow it to the letter, and also to follow that guidelines and the rules being taught by the qualified teacher. And that is good to go. Yes, when they are committed with the work. So we don't want at such a point that the woman is willing, the husband is not willing, or husband is willing, the woman is not willing. So it should be 100% willing. And also to finish our classes that are about 6 in the sessions. So session 1, 2, 3 to 6 on the minimum. So there are those who can go up to 8 or even 10 depending, but on the minimum about 6 of them, so that they follow the guidelines. So when you follow the guidelines, you follow the rules, the way the guidelines that you've been given, taught by qualified teacher, and that discipline and commitment by the spouse, you are good to go, and the success rate will be great. Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you very much for that, Ruth. And there's beyond family planning or NFP during these sessions, can individuals, what else do individuals benefit when they come for these sessions? Is there any other counseling or reproductive health service that you offer to an individual or a couple?
I'll answer that. Thank you. So apart from the natural family planning sessions, we also have the premarital counseling for the couples who would like the premarital counseling. It is also usually done. We do it, and with the premarital counseling, we find that there are some whom we start with the premarital counseling. Then after we finish the premarital counseling, because we'd also have mentioned about the natural family planning, they pick up on these natural family planning sessions. Then the other thing that we do, the other service that we offer in the apart from the natural family planning sessions and the premarital counseling, it is the outreach services. So these outreach services, we usually go on invite to churches, to institutions, to give the health awareness on natural family planning. Also on the youth, we talk to them about drugs, how they can avoid them. On families, we also give advice about communication and just general family life information. We will give it during the outreach services on how people can better their families. We guide them as we go for those outreach services. So there are several topics that can be given according to the audience. We will be able to give the topic that they will choose. Yes.
And how often do you offer these outreach services?
So the outreach services are usually per request by the institution or the church. So it's as per the request. Yes, and also another thing is that the health awareness on natural family planning, it is also done. We also do it in the Mater Hospital. We do it to the clients who come to the hospital during the antenatal period, as they after they deliver their babies in the maternity ward, also in the postnatal period, and also the clients, childbearing women in the medical and surgical wards. We give them the information, this awareness, so that they can be able to make the right choices in life and be able to know really what this natural family planning is, and we clear those misconceptions about it, and they are able to know the truth and join the sessions.
Yes, thank you. And are there any sessions, Ruth, or situations where NFP does not work or requires medical guidance?
So for what we've seen in most cases is when the other couple is not like supporting the other person. Remember, we don't introduce anything to your body. There's no chemicals, there's no anything. So it's like suitable for everybody. So unless when there's a case that now the other spouse is not able to support the woman, or the woman is not willing to support the spouse, or even to start, that is when we can see some things that cannot go right. Or even those who have started on the way they say like it is hard, the way we had mentioned, they can view it as hard, they can default. But in most cases it is able to fit or suit everyone. Yes.
In cases where, I don't know if you've encountered that maybe, okay, this couple has embraced NFP, and maybe they already have children, and they would like maybe to delay. And it happens that because you say it's not 100% just like other methods. What happens in such a situation when it fails?
So when we are introducing natural family planning to our clients, we are already explained to them. They even sign what we call an informed consent. And we are explaining to them that there is that lack of 3%. Even the couple, they are really aware about it, even before when we are introducing it. So when they are choosing natural family planning, they have made a choice. They have understood the guidelines and the rules. They are a consent that is able to take them through to understand what it is and what even they are about to receive. So they are able to know that there is that failure rate of 3%. And that if it's find you also, you just embrace. Most of them, they embrace. Yes, because it's something that they've gotten it from us. And most of them, even they will say, sisi tulijikuta tu, wacha tubahatishe leo. So it's not like they are not aware of what went wrong that day. They could know even this is fertile period and we are postponing pregnancy, but today we want to see, it brings us a baby there.
Just in case.
Yes, just in case. But it is not out of their mind that they are not aware. Hapana, they are aware.
So that means they are also possible prospective candidates even after delivery.
Yes, they are. But if you don't follow the guidelines correctly, and that failure rate of 3%, because we have mentioned they are not 100%, and that indiscipline, if the couples, they find themselves in discipline and not following the guidelines, such things can happen. But they are aware of them.
Okay, Sarah Mbugwa says, thank you for this topic. It's very informative. Thank you, Sarah. And of course, based on what Sarah has commented, where can couples access credible support of NFP?
Thank you for that. Thank you, Sada. So the natural family planning services, they can be offered at the Mater Main Hospital in South B. And we are located at the Doctor's Plaza, 2nd floor, Suite 7. And also, in case a couple stays near a Mater clinic, we also offer these services on booking. We have a clinic at Buruburu. We have a clinic at Thika, at the TRM Mall, and Westlands. So the couple can book the sessions in any of these clinics. And also, maybe for those who are far out of Nairobi, out of the country, these natural family planning sessions can still be offered virtually. So they are accessible to everybody. When they reach out to us, we can book accordingly.
Yes.
So geographical barrier doesn't matter really?
It doesn't matter. It's open to everybody. Yes.
Ruth, as we head towards, as we wind up, what advice would you give a young couple or a first-time parents who are considering NFP but feel unsure or intimidated or they do not have enough information about it?
So the first couples, they should not fear. They are, in fact, those are the best, in fact, because they have not started even using anything. So when they come at the first phase, we are able to explain. In fact, the way we had mentioned, somebody can work and even consult and even be taught first, even before you enter the real class, where somebody is able to explain to you and you are able to understand what it is and what are those fears and worries. So we are able to unlace those fears and worries and you are able to start the classes. It is for everybody, even the first parents. In fact, for them to start even that journey is easier. And even those who have now said, sisi tumemaliza kuzaa, we have finished the part.
And
there's a part in the menstrual cycle that say we only do sexual relations on that part. You are welcome. And they will find themselves also in the right phase. So we suit everybody. So, and those worries, misconceptions, and many other things, come visit us. We'll be able to help you. We'll be able to explain to you in a deeper manner, and you'll be able also to understand. So they are welcome.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Can do it. Yes.
The doors are wide open.
Yes.
There's quite a lot of information that you can learn from NFP. And trust me, at this time, there are people using other methods. Some feel like this doesn't work for me. Others feel their weight blows out all of a sudden, or they in future when they want now to conceive again, it becomes so difficult. So from not just from the religious perspective, but from the health perspective, I think NFP is something to consider. At this point, our time is up, but as usual, we give our guests a few seconds to give us their parting shots on NFP, and I'll start with Agnes Njoroge.
Thank you so much for that. So for me, my parting shot is that God created both the man and the woman in different ways, and the man was created to be fertile throughout, and the woman is fertile during some times in the month, during the fertile phase. So the natural family planning can work out for a couple as long as they come and they cooperate. So we work with their bodies and they are able to know their bodies better, and the natural method will be able to help them throughout their lives without any health impacts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agnes. To you, Ruth.
So my parting shot is to say that men, please, please, please support your spouses. We find women that are very willing to start natural family planning, but some cases they say that men they are not supporting. But we discover these men, not that they don't want to support, it is the knowledge gap. So there's that a huge knowledge gap about it.
Yes.
Just come, we help you fit in. Some even say sorry at the end, that they're like, wow, kumbe it is not what we were thinking. So men, we are really welcome to support your family, since we are the head of the families, to support our women, we want to make our society healthy, we want to do promotive medicine, and we want to make a difference. We want to be green. So you are welcome, and we want to make a family a great impact in our families. Yes.
Thank you very much, Agnes and Ruth, for sharing your expertise with us, and of course for sharing that you are available for this kind of guidance and support at Mater Hospital. I don't know if there are any contacts that if anyone needs to reach out for bookings, clarifications, Agnes?
So thank you. So the contact of the Natural Family Planning Office, it is 0719 07 3231. 0719 07 3231. So when you contact us through that number, we'd be able to give you more information, book sessions for you, and in case you even call in a few minutes before we get back to the office, we'll be able to get you a missed call and call you back. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again. Sincere thanks. And it has been quite an informative conversation. Informed choices are empowered choices indeed, especially when it comes to our bodies, our families, and our futures. My sincere thanks to all of you, and particularly you, for tuning in to this conversation and engaging with us. If you missed any part of this discussion, be sure to catch it on our YouTube and Facebook platforms, and continue the conversation on our platforms. I'm Sasha Elizabeth, and of course I had a team working behind the scenes, starting with Charles Marvaton. We also had Eric Otieno and Kevin Kitari, and of course with another team working the other side of the gallery. And until next time, stay informed, stay healthy, and keep the conversation going.
Thank you.
At Mater Hospital, we put your heart at the center of everything we do. Our cardiac program is one of the most elaborate in the region, offering services for both children and adults. The specialist heart clinic is fully equipped to diagnose and treat a variety of cardiovascular and heart diseases.
We have specialized tests like echocardiogram, diagnostic catheterization. We also have support of the radiology department. We're able to do CT scans of the heart and of the lungs and pulmonary arteries, and all these help us come to get a diagnosis.
Our cardiology unit combines expert care with the latest technology to detect, treat, and prevent heart disease.
Will remain true that indeed the patient matters to Mater Hospital.
Mater Misericordia Hospital. Excellence in care every